What is good, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Happy start to your week. Halo Infinite has reset the ranks, and I want to talk through my experience playing my 10 placement matches, where I landed, what I think of the system now that they've done this ranked reset. Touch a little bit on that hidden MMR stuff because it definitely is a factor to the conversation. So let's hop right in. If you don't know, 343 reset the ranks mid-season in Halo Infinite because they felt like the initial placements for people, or the initial distribution I should say, was a bit too generous. And they were telling players to expect after their placements to land about one full tier lower. So if you were Diamond, probably Platinum. I was Onyx, and I actually landed Diamond 3 after my 10 placement matches, which I'll touch on here in just a second. Now with them thinking it was too generous, I actually do kind of agree with this. I've been playing ranked Halo for a long time, and I do think that getting Onyx and Infinite didn't occupy the same prestige level that the top tier rank has in previous Halo games. That's not to take anything away from anybody who grinded up to Onyx. Congrats, it's awesome. But I do think that it should occupy just a little bit more of a challenge to get there. And hey, it's challenge enough, right? Battling through the crashes and the latency stuff and all of the, what would you call them, roadblocks to just playing the game. But again, I think that shifting players a little bit lower, probably a good idea. I don't know if doing it mid-season was the play. Don't really care, frankly. But let's talk about those 10 placement matches. I won only 3 of them. So I took a ranked break from January 7th onward. So I haven't touched rank in like a month and a half. And hopping back in, it was toasty, man. I definitely noticed how bad my shot was. I needed to get my positioning back in order. I was really stoked because I've almost hit this little shyway jump right here. Haven't yet gotten it in a ranked game. Telling you, I'm trying someday. I believe it's gonna happen. But the reason I don't think I placed lower than Diamond 3 is because in all of these 10 placement games, I think only one of them, my KDA, was negative. And this is a weird factor, and I want to know what you all think about it. Your KDA definitely seems to impact the amount of CSR you win and lose at the end of each match. It seems like if you lose and go negative, you lose a ton of CSR. But if you lose and go positive with your KDA, doesn't seem like you lose nearly as much. And it seems like that KDA value is a lot. Like it influences that CSR loss quite a bit. I don't like this particularly because strongholds, oddball, CTF, objective game types are about the objective. If you play the objective better than the enemy team, I don't know if your KDA should really factor in all that much. Granted, we've talked about it here forever. You gotta slay before you pull the flag. You have to be effective at controlling the map and strongholds. You can't just absolutely tank your KDA and expect to win these matches. But it's okay to not prioritize the KDA in an objective game type where maybe your job was to hold on to that oddball and rotate it effectively across the map. So you're not gonna have the same KDA as the guy who's just sitting slaying the whole time who cared nothing about playing that objective. In my opinion, I do like win-loss. It's simple, and I know it doesn't tell the whole story, and I'm not saying KDA should be completely removed from the equation, but what I am posing as a question to you, should KDA matter as much as it seems like it does when it comes to the CSR calculation at the end of a match? Let's touch on real quickly the hidden MMR thing. So over on Reddit, Real Sun Tzu did a big experiment to basically show that social MMR carries over into ranked games and can impact your matchups even after your placement matches. So let's talk about that. MMR has been in Halo games for a while, and specifically with Infinite, it takes into account, I think, every sort of game type you play, whether that's social fiesta, whether that's BTB, whatever it is. How well you're performing gives the MMR system information of where it thinks you are as a player. But it definitely seems like that MMR on the social side is carrying over into how the ranked matchups are being formed. Not sure I love that. It almost seems like it discourages you from doing better in social. Or it creates people trying to always abuse and manipulate the system to where one side of the game doesn't bleed into the other. I am all for matches being hard fought, and I'm definitely down with beginner players not getting thrown into matches with superstars because I want to see games grow. I want to see new players have a chance to get better and not get discouraged and completely abandon things. But I don't know, it feels way too controlling and way too in the weeds to where I don't want my social matches really impacting the ranked experience. And if that's the case, you know, maybe you just have an account specifically for ranked or whatever that may be. I did just finish up the Infinite Battle Pass the other day, and it was fun. It was like a nice experience. But for me, the most compelling thing to do until May, because let's face it, Halo Infinite is definitely in a spot. Players are waiting for whatever's next, and it seems like that's going to be when Season 2 drops. Until then, ranked seems like the most compelling experience for me. It's got like a sub-objective. Now that there's no more challenges to really go after or care about, because I'm not that interested in the weekly thing, ranked is where I'm going to probably spend my time. And so with this reset, with these changes, all of this, does it create a culture of people who just want to really explore that ranked side? Do they want to stream it or create content about it? Is it creating a culture or a buzz surrounding the game? And in Infinite's case, if you hop on in the afternoons, I think the competitive scene is the only thing really carrying it on places like Twitch. Not as much on YouTube because like the competitive content creator side, it's improving a ton. Like Lucid is doing amazing, but it's not necessarily the same thing as like Twitch right now, where the streaming scene is dominated by the competitive players. And it's really fun to watch these top tier teams scrim in the afternoon. So while I think that it's in a nice spot, and maybe this reset did give players some more stuff to do if they were bored in Onyx, or maybe they're a Diamond player who's looking to battle it into Onyx, sure, now they've got a little bit more to do. But ultimately, no, there's a lot of stuff that I think could be improved upon here. I mean, just throwing out some crazy ideas, an in-game kind of tournament system would be really cool. But of course, a lot has to happen before that occurs. I think a leaderboard system can incentivize like the ultra top tier players to battle it out, to be in that top 200 or whatever it may be. And I also think a little bit more transparency and communication about how that back-end MMR system impacts the ranked experience would be helpful. I mean, it seems like from the experiments the community has been doing, hey, it really does look like your MMR impacts the ranked experience. Why is that? I think if 343 can improve that ranked culture, that ranked experience, you'll see players coming back. On the whole, the ranked reset did not radically change the experience, and I think it remains pretty similar. So if you played a ton before and you're kind of done, you probably can stay in that exact same spot. Remember, don't play stuff if you're not enjoying it. For me, when I hop on to Infinite, I have a good time. But I've also accepted I'm waiting until May for more things. And on the in-between, trying other games. We live in a time where there's so many other awesome games. I just beat Ori in the Blind Forest the other day. Playing some Splitgate. Probably gonna hop back into some Apex Legends and do some other stuff. Games are meant to be fun. And there's enough going on in the world. Like, life is hard enough. Like, make sure the games you're playing you're enjoying, and don't force yourself into stuff that you aren't really enjoying. And I do think in a few seasons with some more maps and some more content, maybe, you know, some new sandbox stuff, upgrades to the ranked experience. Yeah, this thing's gonna do well, honestly. I just hope it occurs quick enough before people like really like move on. There was a lot of momentum, and that's always fun to see. I just hope it can reclaim some of that momentum. If you are a solo queue player and you're trying to get into Onyx, check out the tip video on screen. It's going to go through a lot of the factors that you can use and abuse to try and get yourself up into Onyx now after the reset. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you again very soon.